1 year ago, my husband and I set off on a vacation to Europe. And this trip was a big deal to us because neither of us had ever been to Europe before, and we'd been saving and planning for it for a long time. We decided to go to Spain and Portugal, and we were so excited about the many cultural and historical sites we were going to see. I was especially excited to take photos throughout the trip because I'm really passionate about photography, and I knew this would be an awesome opportunity to experience new places to photograph. We set off and started out in Madrid, and things were going really well, but we quickly learned and knew beforehand as well that we really had to be careful about our surroundings because Europe is pretty dangerous with pickpocketers. So we always took care whether Spencer, my husband, was behind me when I had my backpack on, or we put our backpacks in front of us, things like that when we were taking public transportation especially. So things were going pretty well. We made it to Lisbon and we were getting to our final destination, which was Barcelona. We were so excited to be in Barcelona on Easter Sunday, and we thought this was an awesome opportunity to go experience what church services would be like in a different country. So we looked up where our nearest LDS meeting house was, and it was quite a far ways away from where we were staying. But we mapped out on the metro how we could get there with several different transitions between train lines. We were on our way and we'd already made a couple of different transitions, and we ended up at a place where we were so far underground in the metro that in order to take our next train, we had to go up 5 different stories of escalators. And it was kind of a zigzag pattern. You got off of one escalator and immediately got onto the next one, and so on and so forth, all the way up. So it took a long time, but Spencer was standing behind me as I had my backpack on, and as normal, we were being very careful about our surroundings, but we ended up getting a little distracted because this couple in front of us was having an interesting conversation, and we're people watchers. So we let our guard down, and we didn't really think much of it until we ran and got onto the train, and the conductor turned around and knocked on the window and pointed at my backpack. And immediately my heart dropped because I realized my backpack was gaping open and my camera was not in it. And this camera was a $1,500 camera. It was my graduation present from high school. It was my prized possession and something that I had to have in order to do something I'm very passionate about, photography. So this was a big deal. I immediately started to panic, and as we ran off the train and started running around, hoping that by some chance it had just fallen out, tears started running down my face when I realized that it was stolen and we were not going to be able to get it back. We tried talking to the police, filing a police report, but nothing came of it. And the hardest part about the experience was knowing that I couldn't blame anyone but myself. It was my fault for letting my guard down, especially over something as trivial as listening to the conversation of the people in front of us. So it was really disappointing, and I was very disappointed in myself, but I learned the critical lesson about never letting your guard down, because it doesn't matter if you have your guard up and you're paying attention and you're doing what you need to be doing for 90% of the time, because if for 10% of the time you aren't, then you don't know what could go wrong during that time, and it will all be, to waste. So that's something I can apply to my future career and in many different aspects of my life, that I have to always keep my guard up. And I know that that's something I'm going to definitely pay attention more to in the future in all aspects of my life, because I have to be paying attention all the time in order to ensure that I'll get the result that I want.